Hello everyone, happy Thursday. I have a short little video for you. I'm not really introducing anything new. We're just going to add a little bit to what we've been doing with adding integers. So let's take a minute, and as you look at my screen here, you will see the integer rules that we've been using. And we said that when we add integers, the key thing that we have to do first is determine whether or not you have like signs or unlike signs. And a like sign constitutes it either being all positive or all negative. And unlike signs are when you have one of each of those signs. So let's look at your rules and just refresh. If you have a like sign, you're going to add the numbers together, and then your sign's going to stay the same. So in this problem, I have a -5 and -3. So I add the digits and get 8, and then I'm going to keep the sign, so it would be negative. And in this case, you have a +7 added to +2, so you'll add, and you'll keep the sign, which is positive. And remember, positives do not need to have the plus sign in front. We just assume they're positive if they don't have a sign. If you have unlike signs, you must subtract the digits, and then you take the sign of the larger number. So for example, in this one, 5 plus a -3, they're unlike because you have one of each, a positive and a negative. So if you subtract 5 minus 3, you get 2, and take the sign of the larger number. Well, 5 is larger, so we're going to use its sign, which makes it a +2. In this case, -7 plus 2, again, two different signs, so I subtract and have 5. And take the sign of the larger number. 7 is larger, so we're going to use its sign and it's negative. Okay, so this note sheet is here for you to look at, but what we're going to do today is instead of just adding two numbers together, we're going to add 3 or 4. So I just want to show you a couple examples here today, and then you're going to do some practice. So in this problem, it says 9 plus a -2 and then plus -4. So the key here, guys, is do it one step at a time and do not do it in your head. Okay, so if I do 9 plus a -2, I have two different signs, right? So I subtract. If I subtract, I get 7. Take the sign of the larger number, which is 9, so that leaves me a +7. Then I need to do the last part, which is add a -4. Okay, so again, two different signs. So I subtract and get 3 and take the sign of the larger number. 7 is larger, so I'm going to keep its sign, which is +3. So your answer to this one should be +3. Okay, all we're doing different from the other day is we may add another operation in here. You may be adding 2 or 3 numbers together. Just another step. Okay, let's look at another one. In this case, again, we're going to do one step at a time. So -4 plus 9, two different signs. So I subtract, you'll get 5. Keep the sign of the larger number. 9 is larger, so it's going to be a +5. Now I also need to do the plus a -3 here. So again, two different signs. So I'm going to subtract, I get 2. And take the sign of the larger number. Well, 5 is larger, so I'm going to use its sign, and it is positive. So my answer to this one would be a +2. Okay? Moving on. So 9 plus a -5 plus a -3. Okay. So in this case, two different signs, so I'm going to subtract. So 9 minus 5 would be 4. Take the sign of the larger number. This one is larger, so I'm going to use its sign, which is positive. And then I have to do plus a -3. So again, two different signs. So subtract, you get 1. Take the sign of the larger number. So in this case, 4 is larger, so my answer is +1. Okay, one last problem for us to work on here. This time, I've got 3 addition signs. So I've got 3 different things to add together. So again, we're going to take it one step at a time. So 7 plus a negative 10. Two different signs, so I'm going to subtract. 10 minus 7 is 3. Take the sign of the larger number, it is negative. So now I have to do the plus a negative 4. Now you have the same signs. So you're going to add and keep the sign. So if I add, I get 7, and I'm going to keep the sign. So I have a negative 7. So now I have one last step here, negative 7 plus 2. And now I'm back to having two different signs. So I subtract and get 5 and keep the sign of the larger number. So in this case, the answer to the entire problem is a negative 5. Okay, so our rules have not changed. You should still be looking for like signs or unlike signs. And I also want you, as you are doing these, you're not just writing down an answer for me. You should be showing your work like I just did here. I did this part, I put negative 3. I brought down the next section, got negative 7. Okay, do not try and do this in your head. I just can't stress enough that from past years' experience, this is where we make silly little mistakes and it throws off the entire problem. So please show your work as you're doing this. Okay, you do have a practice sheet that's attached like we've done in the past, where you will write on and do your work here and then submit it to me when you're done. Okay, I also in our folder put the note sheet in case you need to refer to that as you're doing it. Okay, have a great day, guys, and message me on Schoology if you need anything. Thanks.